It's Spoilerin time, folks. This show is the companion to Cordkillers. If you watch Cordkillers, you know where the shows are happening, when they're happening, whether they're happening, and then you watch them, you come here, and we talk about them. This week, we're going to talk about Justified City Primevals, episode 4 of its only season, and Good Omens, season 2, episodes 1 and 2. I'm Tom Merritt. Brian Brushwood is out with the hackers, trying to prevent the bad people from stopping the hackers who do good work, but also helping the hackers who do good work, stopping the bad. It's a lot. It's a lot for Brian. So he can't be here for Spoilerin time, Bryce.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to be here, and we got a whole swarthy lineup of shows to talk about. What do we want to start with, Tom?
Let's start with Justified City Primeval. Let's start with Justified City Primeval, season 1, episode 4, wherein we just doesn't matter that he sent his daughter away. I don't know why I'm so hung up on that. I was like, we spent so much time with his daughter. Yeah. And then it was like, the daughter gets referred to. Where's your daughter? She's back with her mom. Oh, okay. So you're free to do whatever you want. Yep, pretty much. Not sure why I even introduced you to my daughter, because she doesn't matter anymore.
There was no tease. There was no her. I don't know. I don't know why we had her if she really isn't gonna come back.
I think she's gonna come back. I think she has to come back, or I'll be really puzzled. But I'm still a little confused about the way they have shuttled her down to Florida. Yeah. Meanwhile, it's a game of cat and mouse between our villain, who's bold enough to just be like, Raylan, I'm right here. You can't touch me. Raylan telling the lawyer. That was another weird scene of like, hey, you need to watch out because, this guy's dangerous and he's coming for you. And the lawyer saying, stop warning me.
I eat danger for breakfast.
Yeah, but also thank you.
Yeah, because they're because they've got their whole flirting thing. They're having this romance.
Yeah, and did she bring him a sandwich, or am I imagining that? What did she brought him some food?
She brought him a bottle of
whiskey. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think that scene ended before we saw if they went inside, but I think it was very implied that they went in.
Well, yeah, I don't remember the dialogue, but it was like, it's more comfortable inside kind of vibe. Yeah. And I felt like the next scene we're going to see is going to be them inside the house.
I like this episode a pretty good bit, Tom. I think this episode is kind of all there. It's pulpy.
It's focused up a little more. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I've really got a handle on what the threads are and who the players are now 4 episodes into the show. I didn't feel like
this was a nice game of cat and mouse too, with the roommate. Where he's trying to get the information out of the roommate.
There's a good play between Raylan and the police officer. And Raylan, really, Raylan should need to be eating some crow because he totally screwed that whole thing. I guess he saved that one girl from losing more teeth, but the villain just rolls up at the end, completely negating the whole thing that they were doing there. It's kind of great.
I mean, the other cop, Norbert, is that his name? The Detroit cop who's like, let me handle this by screwing it all up. I felt he was more at fault than Raylan, but yes, I also agree that Raylan thinking I can handle, is it Armenians or Albanians? Albanians, right?
Albanians.
Yeah. I can handle the Albanians. No, apparently you could not.
No, you killed one of them in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And then lost. Yeah, it's
also, that also threw me off as wait, we made a big deal about how Albanians never forgive anything, and you just killed one. You're like, that's okay, I'll talk to him.
it wasn't Raylan, it was old Norbert.
Yeah. Norbert's dead, isn't he? It won't be personal.
No, it's completely gonna be tit for tat on that.
Yeah, no, they're gonna kill Norbert and tell Raylan oh, so sorry about your friend. But, business is business. Yeah. Kind of.
And Raylan will go, oh, he was just part of the season. It's okay. You're supposed to come.
Yeah, I never really liked him anyway.
Yeah.
He was an unsympathetic character, so the audience won't mind he's dead either.
What do you feel about the Sandy situation? She's in this relationship with the villain. but she feels ancillary just a little bit. I haven't figured out her purpose yet.
Well, her purpose has been to be the conscience of Clement Manzel, right? Like she's the one that's going to tell him, like, "Hey, you need to stop." He's meanwhile ignoring her, which is, I think, why you're getting that. Like, what is her purpose again? Because he doesn't seem to pay any attention to her if she's supposed to be his conscience. He's more like, let me snuggle up to Sweetie and get that to work.
Yeah.
And doesn't like when he found out that Sandy didn't get rid of the gun, he didn't even get mad at her. You'd think he would have like been like, well, that's it for you, honey child. But instead he's like, oh, well, in that case, Sweetie, let's make money with this little black book I found. Like that seemed out of character for Clement Manzel.
Oh, I thought that conversation was set up. I thought that was Clement and Sandy trying to play Sweetie.
Oh, you think Sandy told Clement, I didn't get rid of the gun, but here's the thing.
Yeah. I think they both went in that conversation.
Maybe. That would make it work better for me if that was true.
That's at least how I read it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, yeah, we have this little black book. Is that, I guess those are just bribes?
It's a MacGuffin. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that would be that valuable. But also I haven't paid that much attention to why it would be valuable. It was enough for me to be like, high-powered judge has secret information that no one else wants out. Got it. Could be a lot of things, but doesn't really matter what's in that book. That's the MacGuffin of the situation. I get it. I can live with that.
How are you feeling about the city being so primeval, Tom? How are you feeling about Justified after 4 episodes in?
I'm still enjoying it. And it's in the groove. It's got weaknesses here and there, but I dig the vibe. I was a little skeptical about putting Raylan in Detroit, but it's kind of working. I'm into it.
Yeah, it seems like okay, here's a question, Tom, because you've seen the original Justified. Could you put that Justified into another town? Like,
no, that was the thing about it that I was skeptical is the original Justified is very much about Harlan and about, the mines and the coal mining and stuff. I'm like, how is this going to work? Detroit has got its own stories and Raylan's not a part of them. He was very much a part of the Harlan stories. But I think they did a good job of saying like, yeah, we're not going to try to tell Raylan as part of Harlan. We're going to tell good stories in Detroit, and Raylan Givens is a decent character to be investigating things. And so they aren't playing up the Harlan part of Raylan the way they did in the original.
I'm digging this though. I think I'm digging this so far as a Justified newbie.
I think you are justified in enjoying it because I think it's been pretty good. Yeah. Now that you asked that question, you provoked a line of thought, which is in the original Justified, Raylan has outgrown his roots. He's somewhat more world aware than many of his friends and family that he grew up with. I wouldn't call him a city slicker, but it's sort of like, I'm still dealing with, the people of Harlan and a little bit of like, oh, Mr. Big City, left for the bright lights kind of situation. Whereas now in Detroit, he's the country guy. He's the rural guy. He's the outsider. I think that gives you an interesting, different perspective into Raylan Givens' character.
And I hope they lean more into that contrast. I think they can lean into that more. I think there's an interesting idea there. The big fish, small pond, or small fish, big pond.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I'm surprised you're enjoying it too. I'm glad to hear that though.
I don't love it. I'm not out here buying a T-shirt, but I'm on board. Yeah,
you'll be buying a T-shirt by the end of this series. I can tell.
That'll be justified to do so.
That is Justified, City Primeval, Season 1, Episode 4. Let's talk about Good Omens, Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2, or Chapters 1 and 2, as they title them. Chapter 1, The Arrival, is where an angel Gabriel, or Archangel Gabriel, arrives at Aziraphale's bookstore without any knowledge or clothes. And then chapter 2, The Clue, gives us a little backstory, a lot more backstory on Aziraphale and Crowley, and uh, develops a sort of a love relationship with the record store owner next door and the cafe owner across the street,
Mhm.
as well as sending the angels down to Crowley or Zerafel's bookshop to investigate whether Gabriel's there or not.
Yeah. This is. I was worried. I don't know. I was a little worried about how you top season one, only because there's not much more place to go other than we need to stop the actual apocalypse. Like, it's hard to make the stakes bigger than that. But in these first 2 episodes, where we're seeing that Gabriel, something's happened to Gabriel, and he's so influential, and no one really knows who's even doing whatever happened. Um, I'm excited, and then we just like get a bunch of Crowley and Aziraphale, and they're just doing their cute old married couple thing. I love it. It's
Yeah. Uh, the two things that I love. One is Aziraphale and Crowley are just supposed to keep their heads down, right? They don't want to be noticed. So of course you have to do something that makes them noticeable. And that's Gabriel. And plus then you set up a nice little mystery of like, why? Why did Gabriel, show up? Why has he lost his memory? What's going on here? Why is this happening? In the meantime, they give us a whole little like mini episode of the history of Aziraphale and Crowley, which you could have done in season one, but we were so focused on preventing the apocalypse that it was a better choice to learn about them like have it revealed. Oh, these two know each other. They aren't just from other sides,
yeah.
and so it was very cute to see how they basically bonded over the tormenting of Job, the biblical story.
Yeah, I was glad that they went back to that, even starting the first episode with, before the beginning. Um, I, I thought it was great. It was the flashbacks give them a reason to do literally anything in history.
Yeah,
And then the present day stuff, I like it. It is not that complicated. I think they're even setting up really interesting motivations for every side, for the heaven side, for the hell side, for Crowley and Aziraphale, for what would be best to happen with Gabriel. The other archangels in heaven, they would like to fight for his position if he can't come back. The hell would be a boon to not have Gabriel. Like there's a lot of good stuff happening here, and it is doing a good job of like not hammering that in with over your head. It's not
yeah.
like, my motivation is so wrought now.
It's a small story.
Yeah.
They've made they went from a huge story, the apocalypse, to a small story, which is a great choice. And Scooper Nova Girl has been pointing out in our chat room that this apparently is not the sequel that Gaiman has in mind. It's a bridge between the story we saw in season one and the notes for a potential book two,
Oh.
which I think is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, because I don't know. I like the density of this so far. It feels light. It feels like it is not overly complicated or I don't I don't want to just say simple is better, but I felt a little lost in season one where
It's simple, but it's also easy. It's not easy, right? It's simple. Like we don't have that many characters, but also the record store owner and the cafe store owner, they don't immediately go, "Oh, I like you. I'm in a relationship, but I like you." The cafe store owner is like, "No, I've got a horrible relationship at home, and that's all I care about is dealing with that."
and also those two aren't a good match either.
Yeah,
Like in these, certainly at least in these 2 episodes, they get stuck in the cafe, and it's clear that they're not having a good time. That whole vignette ends
yeah.
before they deal with any of the meat of it. But you heard the cafe owner say it like, "Oh, so they just let you have a store because your grandfather knew his grandfather, and you're
Right.
selling old outdated." Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
you're
do
selling stuff to people who don't want anything. Yeah.
But they left all of that on set. Now maybe it comes back because it would be a good thing to kind of hit us over the head with like, hey, you can't just make love happen. But I really appreciated that they just put that on the table and didn't put a big neon arrow at it.
Yeah. No, agreed. I, like you, had a hard time not barreling right on into chapter 3, but we will do our best to take these week by week to kind of dole them out. And those of you who just binged the whole thing can laugh at us as we make totally wrong speculations about what is going to happen next.
Please do. Please email us to laugh at us. Cordkillers@gmail.com.
That is Good Omens Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. That is it for Spoilerin Time this week, but we've got a whole big packed episode next week. Justified City Primeval Season 1, Episode 5, Good Omens Season 2, Episode 3, and we're going back to our Miami Vice watch with Badge of Dishonor, including an appearance by Barbara Streisand.
Ooh, Babs.
Yeah. Babs of Dishonor. That's Miami Vice Season 4, Episode 18. That's it for this episode. Thank you for supporting us. We do talk about other shows in After Talk. If you're a patron, you can get those at patreon.com/cordkillers. We also give Spoilerin Time early to people who support us there as well. Thanks to all our patrons, and we'll spoil you again next time.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.